Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video we watch a video, and today we watch rating of all 10 games of the year games. Yeah, it's from Wild Rush. And let's go.
The Video Game Awards, hosted by Geoff World Premiere Nightly, has cemented itself as one of the most popular game awards show in the medium. So it would only make sense to review and consider the 10 GOTY video games of the last decade. These are supposedly extremely good video games, so I wonder,
Let's see which one I have played.
well, let's check
And
them out.
let me know
I'll give my
which
opinion.
one you
It's
played.
only that, an opinion. Keep that in mind.
Oh, BioWare, you dropped this game too soon. Home of the first and second installments of the Baldur's Gate saga, creators of the Knights of the Old Republic, Mass Effect 1, and
Mass
Dragon Age
Effect?
Origins,
I played
the
Mass
future of
Effect.
Dragon Age Inquisition should have mirrored what Larian did with Baldur's Gate 3. Instead, Inquisition fell into the industry trends, becoming a strange hybrid between Origins and Skyrim, or actually any open world game of that era, offering a lot to do at the cost of the deep narrative and customization found in previous games. But I'm not sure if giving this credit to a third installment is fair. It was already excellent before. It would have been difficult to mess up, to be honest. And why did it win Game of the Year then? The game is actually fun, the main quests are interesting, and the world building and the characters are really iconic. The competition, to be honest, was not fierce, and at least that year EA didn't patent the game mechanic. Overall, the game does a lot of things right, but it does a poor job of being a Dragon Age game. I'm gonna try to keep it in my pants on this one, but damn.
I played a little bit of it. Not that much though. I think it's a good game though, what I heard.
CD Projekt, you knocked it out of the park at this time. The first two Witcher games were really good, even though the first one, the combat was a product of its time, but this one, the third installment, it set a new bar for RPGs. The main quest is solid, it's really good, but it's the side quests and how alive the world feels that makes this the game of the year. The combat system might seem complex at first, but once you master the basics and start crafting potions, it's...
Did he let us know which date it or which year it was? I think it shows here, right? No, it just says it's The Witcher. Maybe I didn't saw it.
Super satisfying. Even years after release, the game keeps getting praise. The DLCs are even better than the base game, and it's setting a bar so high for a sequel. Cyberpunk's launch was a disaster, but hopefully they learned their lesson, and maybe the next Witcher game launch won't be as bumpy as that one. Let's hope for the best.
It is baffling how Blizzard in 2016 was regarded as one of the best video game companies of all time. Everyone loved them. Their prestige was out of the charts. Everybody
That's not longer the case.
And even though at that point in time most of the atrocities we know today were already happening, the fact is that Blizzard was then one of the greatest in the eyes of the public opinion. And then they decided to release Overwatch. Colorful, stylish, dynamic, innovative, and most importantly, fun. This game proved that Blizzard just couldn't stop putting out banger after banger. Their own take on games like CS, Team Fortress 2, and the likes had incredible character designs, really cool scenarios, and a game feel addictive to experience. Millions of players jumped right in, and they were delighted to play with these new heroes and use their awesome abilities. It was fun, and that is all that mattered at the end of the day. They did it. Blizzard pulled it off once again. And the future only shined brighter, as who knows which direction could the game take. I've never seen something quite like this in video game history. The downfall of Blizzard and Overwatch is
Overwatch
only another
2.
occasion, but it is incredible how a company that had it all was able to
I played Overwatch a little bit. Maybe one day, like 24 hours. I liked it. It's not... I will not play like shooter that much anymore, but it's a good game, yeah.
sang their Golden Goose IP so fast. Wrong decision after wrong decision, letting the game stale and tweaking it to make it the least fun possible. I understand the GOTY
1.5.
in 2016, But the state of the game nowadays, the one you can hop in and play, is pure garbage, and I wouldn't recommend it even to my enemies. So I confidently claim it to be the worst game to even receive a Game of the Year award.
Nintendo. Breath of the Wild. That's the
What can I say
name.
about this one? Breath of the Wild has reinvented the wheel,
2017.
changed once again the Zelda formula, and transformed open world games forever. Nothing will beat, perhaps, the sense of awe and wonder that I had when Link climbed out of that cave and discovered Hyrule once again, destroyed after a century of perpetual war. Its unique mechanics were amazing to discover and to toy with, letting players push the game to its limits and pull off crazy shenanigans thanks to the emerging gameplay element Breath of the Wild had. And if not, you just have to watch speedruns of this shit. It's incredible. The feeling of doing the bomb trick in which
Yeah, that's a good
you
game.
blast yourself off to the distance, it's just amazing. This approach, however, this pure liberty given to the player, had its drawbacks though. And the designs of the main dungeons, the Divine
frog.
Beasts, suffered from this open world design that gave full control to players to enjoy Hyrule's secrets in the order they wanted. The story suffered as well, as you had to experience each encounter with each clan and each species in whatever order, so you couldn't really up the stakes and had to keep it real simple. But for me, none of that matters, because the greatest thing this game has is its ambience. Walking through a grass field among the ruins of the village that stood next to Hyrule Castle a century ago.
That's so important, that the world feels good and looks good. That makes so much for a video game. When you just like to be in the world, is so important.
Ago, feeling the rain as it downpours through the forest, watching the wildlife run around the trees. It is insane how many times Breath of the Wild has made me go, wait, what is that over there? And suddenly, 3 hours have elapsed, it is already nighttime, and nothing I set myself to do has been done, in or out of the game. I love Breath of the Wild. It is a masterpiece, and Tears of the Kingdom is an amazing and worthy sequel to it.
God of
Talking
War.
about games that reinvented the formula for the franchise, God of War, the 2018 one, managed to switch genres and create an action-adventure gameplay with role elements that works wonders. I mean, this game just deserved the award because of the recalling axe mechanic. This is insane. The axe waits, it comes back with strength and in a believable trajectory as well, and it just feels so good. You throw it and you feel the throw and it stucks real hard on the surface. It feels powerful. Damn, just I have to take my hat off on this one. But well, I believe the game has other things as well, so we'll talk also about that. The bosses are incredible, the Norse mythology is really cool to discover, and almost every single side character has more charm than 99% of the protagonists of every single Ubisoft. Kratos and Boy's story is surprisingly complex and character driven, and it leaves you craving for more of it. You want to explore all the realms, you want to see the rest of the Norse pantheon, you want to go toe to toe with
Dear.
Thor, and then the sequel goes and just gives us everything we wanted. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is my favorite From Software video game and one of my favorite video games of all time. Period. After beating it 8 times in a row for the last 5 years, I can confidently say it is an alright game. Okay, first of all, I'm sorry for stealing that joke from Donkey, and second of all, I love the deflect mechanic of Sekiro. The world that revolves around it, and how the story is more straightforward than in the Soul Saga. And I love especially how you just get a katana and are expected to learn the ways of the game. No builds, no talismans, no shields, no shenanigans, nothing. Learn the shinobi ways, learn to deflect, learn the rhythm and patterns of enemies, and you shall persevere. Hesitation is defeat. Psst. Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, Yeah, you. Can we already come out and say that The Last of Us Part 2 is a really, really good game? Is the angry people gone?
Dude,
The
that
Last of Us Part 2 is an insane state-of-the-art jewel with a daring narrative, an interesting story structure,
I didn't play all of these games, though. I only played Overwatch 2, but not that much.
and although it may not completely redo its mechanics, it adds new interesting features and quality of life stuff that makes it a solid sequel to its predecessor. And when I say the solid sequel, I mean exactly just that. The Last of Us Part 2 is not a masterpiece, it didn't reinvent the genre completely, and it didn't knock out Blue of Us. But still, it is a really, really, really good game. I love the duality of Ellie and Abby, how their gameplay sections are completely different, and how the game takes its moments to breathe and takes a break from all the horrifying slaughter to give us precious character moments. At the end of the day, this game made me feel the same thing that I felt when I played Last of Us in 2013 and I explored post-apocalyptic America, filled with clickers and runners and boats, but also with beautiful landscapes of buildings and cities reclaimed by nature. I must admit, I think the game drags for too long, and I don't like when characters
More importantly, is if when they have like beautiful women in the game. I think.
teleport from one place to another, because it gives me the Game of Thrones Season 8 Vietnam
It
vibe.
does help though.
But all is forgotten in the end when a story is capable of shaking me to my core. I still think about this game every once in a while. I still think about some fucked up things that happen in this game once in a while, and that cannot be easily said by most of its peers. It
Ooh.
Takes Two is perhaps the odd one on the Game of the Year list, and I couldn't be more happy about it. During the last few years, there has been a re-evaluation of what cooperative games could be, and I believe that we have come along.
That was actually really a thing. I was like really interested in that game. And don't play it though. But that's really on my list and I really want to play it one day. But the people where I play with, they already played it, so I need to find somebody else. But I think it's also timeless. I will play this game for sure one day. And I watched a fair chunk of it.
Way since the tale of two brothers. It Takes Two is refreshing, creative, and it is perhaps the best game on this list to hop in with someone who doesn't usually play games. And I think that is really
Yeah,
important for
I
this
think.
game. I love the unique concepts and mechanics of how they intertwine one with another. It reminds me a lot of what remains of Edith Finch and the other walking simulators, and I think it gets a lot of inspiration off of it. But at the same time, I
That's good
also
though.
think it is a little bit cringe sometimes, and it maybe ramps up the corniness a lot, and I mean a lot. But nevertheless, it's a precious game to play with someone you really care or someone you are hoping to care a lot about, and it's just the perfect experience to
Hoping.
Friday night, having some drinks perhaps, and just laying back on the couch and playing It Takes Two for a while.
Guys, hope is not a strategy. Don't hope too much.
If Breath of the Wild invented the formula for open world games, Elden Ring just took that and cramped it up like it was nothing. When it was announced that From Software was developing a sort of open world Dark Souls with a world building designed by both Miyazaki and that guy that cannot finish Winds of Winter, everyone was a little bit worried that they wouldn't be able to pull it off and bring the Souls experience to this genre. But oh my god, they absolutely did it. A spectacular job, and Elden Ring has quickly been declared a masterpiece. I feel like this is the natural conclusion to the Souls saga. The system and its mechanics are pushed to the limits. The variety of bosses, talismans, weapons, scenarios, questlines. There is so much to do. And I cannot stress this enough. While it is true that the scaling sometimes feels a little bit off in the late game areas, this is just a minor flaw that can be circumnavigated easily enough. But man, there are things to do. And what is even more incredible to think about is that this open world game has that much content, but at the same time has very few lines of dialogue. which is the backbone of a lot of like quest lines and narratives involved in open world games. You know, every single NPC is out there to give you like a couple hours worth of yapping about, I don't know, a lost one or something they were stolen they need back or something. Jokes aside, the worlds of the Lands Between feels unique. Its themes and leitmotifs around hands, fingers, fundamentalism, and cosmic horrors bring a really interesting atmosphere, and there are some boss fights that have become iconic since the release of the game. And now we just got Shadow of the Erdtree, the single expansion that this game will have that brings a whole another map the size of Limgrave, with new types of weapons, new enemies, new bosses, and I am just baffled with how much there is to this game. Try to think for a second how many things there is to experience if you are a new player of Elden Ring right now. It is insane. And finally, we got the last game of the year, which is Baldur's Gate 3. There were some people that felt like this award should have gone to other nominees, but it is clear to me that said people haven't played this game. Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the best games to release in the last 10 years, easily. Never has a game glued me to my desk the way this game has done. Captivated by its complex characters, the number of ramifications each individual story can have, and the emergent gameplay that comes out of its mechanics. But it is not only that. Baldur's Gate 3 also has emergent narrative, so to speak, without any type of AI generative bullshit. It just lets you think out of the box, and if you can come up with a solution unique enough, then it can be done. Baldur's Gate 3 is fun, chaotic, intriguing, and it just keeps on giving and giving and giving. I love the role system and how it has an actual impact on the story and the paths you take in its world. I adore how you can personalize your fighting style and do the craziest and wildest shenanigans you can imagine. And I swear to God, I played as a rogue thief and I won most boss fights by just convincing them to suicide or tricking them into submission. It was hilarious. I am really excited to replay this game, which took me 110 hours to beat, by the way, and just go full chaotic evil mode and see what happens. It is a wonder to have something like this exist, the closest to an actual D&D campaign, adapted to the video game media, and it wants you to get interested by it. I made some decisions or played some scenarios in some ways that kept me wondering what would have happened if I did this or that. And with some other games, they give you the illusion of choice, but in the case of Baldur's Gate 3, and believe me, I do not know how they did this, there are actually hundreds, thousands of other choices you could pick, and they are not mirages. They are not dreams. They are not clever mind tricks that developers programmed onto the game. They are real options you can do. You can go out and perform, and that is unbelievable. What an incredible feat for video games to have something like this. I honestly encourage everyone to play it. Go play Baldur's Gate 3. Believe me, you won't regret it. And that was every single game of the year. So I guess the only question left is, which games are going to be nominated this one?
Baldur's Gate, I only played Overwatch on this list. I'm not a big story fan, I would say. I'm more an adrenaline junkie or just like a chill game. But I mean, this game like inspired me. Like maybe I will play these games or like some of them. Definitely Elden Ring is on my list for like a long time since it came out, pretty much. But I never played it yet. But I like to one day. And also It Takes Two is like also for a long time on my list, actually, also since it came out. But I have like some other games to play at the moment, and I will look into them one day, I'm pretty sure. It's a great video though. It's like really inspiring, and to see all these games which I don't really know much about.
If I had to guess, Perhaps they'd go with Balatro as best indie game, and perhaps a GOTY nomination. It is actually crazy how solid that game is. But well, maybe that opinion is a little bit controversial. So tell me in the comments which games you think will make it into the list, and what you think of the last 10 GOTY video games. Thank you so much for watching the video, and as always, until we meet again.
Yeah, really great video. I will link the video as always in the description, and then you can watch it on his channel, and also yeah, subscribe to him. He made this is like a really cool video, I would say. It's like a good overview of and he had also some good insights, so he actually played the games. So that's it for today, and we see you in the next one.